What's up, guys? You know who it is. Marcus J. Jackson with another Live Life episode for you. All right. Tonight, we're going to be talking about what does a healthy relationship look like? Okay. Once again, what does a healthy relationship look like? All right. Um, I know there's an element out there that needs to hear this information. Some of us, we do not know what a healthy relationship looks like. So tonight I'm going to be covering what that looks like, what all that entails, if you will. Because, so a lot of times if you don't know what to look for, and if you don't know that a healthy relationship actually exists, then you don't know, you don't have a direction to go in. You don't have anything to compare it to. So for my young men and women out there, or, my brothers and sisters out there that do not have an idea of what a healthy relationship looks like, tonight I'm going to be covering a few things that'll help. Hopefully it'll kind of square away some things for you, give you some ideas. If nothing else, just give you something to kind of pattern, your next relationship, or build the relationship that you're working on now. Keep in mind that this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And last month was Suicide Awareness Month. So every night I make myself available from the hours of 12 to 2 a.m. And I feel like it's worth the sacrifice, a couple hours of sleep, to share some information with people that I know that you guys can use. And it also helps me as well. It gives me some things to brush up on as well. So, and I chose this particular hour because statistically, between the hours of 12 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the morning is when the attempts of, someone taking their own life is great. The domestic violence, I know that goes on pretty much any time of the day. And I want to make sure that I'm able to reach out to, both parties. So if you are hearing this, or you're reposting this, or you're looking at the replay, please share the information with someone that may need it. When it's not about shaming anybody or putting anybody on blast or anything. If you go through my timeline, you'll see I've done plenty of videos like this, and it's helped out a lot of people. So by all means, if nothing else, just share the video. If you don't find any useful information in it, maybe someone else is. Just so you know, I also work, God dog it, hand in hand with I Speak Foxy, and she is the founder of the organization, which is I Speak Foxy, and they focus on helping men, women, and children heal from domestic violence, sexual assault, sexual abuse experience, right? So if you have that experience, or you know of someone that does, please tell them to go to the Facebook page, I Speak Foxy. There's a ton of information on there that'll definitely steer you in the right direction as far as resources, help. You can find shelter information. You can find, she also accepts, is now accepting donations for the month of April, which is going to be the retreat. It's going to be the retreat for those who've experienced sexual assault and violence, domestic violence. It's going to be a retreat, and it is going to be awesome. There's going to be some bioenergetics there. We're going to have some licensed therapists there. There's going to be a lot of activities to help free some of that emotion. A lot of activities, a lot of building, a lot of lifting you up, a lot of helping you actually heal. I know we have a lot of events that go on, and a lot of us participate in events that, they're great. They're great events to attend, But they give you all the information on how to heal and what to do and so on and so forth. But they never actually show you what to do to heal, show you how to actually release those emotions, and begin to heal from the traumatic event. Okay. And that's what you want. You want to actually be able to heal from it. You want to know what to do, right? Now that I got all this good information, what do I do with it? All right. So that's what makes I Speak Foxy different. And this year, the I Speak Foxy Healing event is going to be in April. So we are accepting donations for those. If you can give $1, that would be awesome. I'll put the donation link inside right here, as long as well as the other resources that I have on here. Copy and paste. Yeah, so I think, hey, it's just $1 if you can. It would be awesome. Very, very, I would be thankful for that, all right? So let's take a deep breath. Let's ground ourselves. Let me fix this light right quick. Hold on, I'll be right back, guys. Hopefully that lighting is a little better. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. And that seemed kind of dull on my computer screen. Anyway, I got this little gaggy cough going on, dry cough. I don't know where it came from. But just came back from the little vacation. Spent 4 days in South Dakota. It was awesome. Awesome road trip. Had a good little time. Spent the time with friends, family. So it was nice. I enjoyed it. I really did. Yeah, so if you want to talk to me, my contact number is 469-626-7486. If I don't answer, please leave me a message. I will definitely return your call. If you need to get in contact with me or respond, or if you need to interact with me immediately, it's better to text message, right? Either text message or inbox me, right? That would be the best thing to do. If not, you can also email me at marcusjjackson@hotmail.com. And make sure you put in the subject "Live Life," right? Because I get a lot of emails because I'm a realtor also, and I'm also a life coach. So I get a lot of questions, and I get a lot of business, related information from real estate. So if you could tag in the subject line, put "Live Life," and that way I can kind of file the emails the way they're supposed to be filed. All right. What else? If you are in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, please call 1-800-273-8255. If you need assistance because you've experienced domestic violence, the number is 1-800-799-7233. All right, call them, get you some help immediately. If you're in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, please call 911. That is, get you some help immediately. All right, because we don't want you to get hurt, and we don't want you hurting anybody. All right, so let's take a deep breath to get ourselves grounded real quick. Bring ourselves back to the present once again. One more time. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So let's go with tonight. We are going to be talking about what a relationship, a healthy relationship looks like, right? Okay. So, I have been a relationship coach, a life coach, a youth leadership coach for some years now. And it is around the whole, in the entire structure of coaching and leading and developing people or helping people develop, is it's pivotal. One of the pillars of all of that is communication. Okay. You have to be able to communicate. There is no way around that, right? You have to use your words. You have to communicate what it is that's going on with you. You have to be transparent in your communication as well. So, and I say that because in everything that we do, it's very, very important that we communicate. We make sure we are communicating about our job, make sure we're communicating about our money. We even go so far as to make sure we're communicating about, a lot of materialistic things. We communicate to the cashier that we want a discount, okay? Or we want, we want the best or the highest quality of shoe and clothing that you can possibly find, right? But the communication in the relationship is lacking, right? The communication in your relationship is stressed, all right? So how do we how do we make that that into a healthy situation as opposed to an unhealthy situation, right? Make sure you got your tea, people. I don't want y'all to be too thirsty, all right, while we up here talking, chopping it up, chatting, okay? So, in a healthy relationship, communication, you talk openly about your problems, you listen to each other, you respect each other's opinion, you value each other's opinion, right? So, and communicate in just talking, right? You're listening. And by listening, you want to show your spouse or your partner that, hey, I'm listening to you. The way you communicate to me is important. Your thoughts and the way you think is important to me. So communicating is the key, right? It's the key that opens the door to everything else. All right. Excuse me. And if you end up working with me as a life coach or as a client, that's going to be something that that I'm very, very open about. I'm very transparent and I'm very blunt about communication, because if we don't talk, or I don't know how to serve you, or you don't know how to serve your partner or your spouse because of lack of communication, then that's a problem, right? So we need to be transparent. We need to be able to speak to each other and communicate whatever you should be able to communicate with your spouse on all levels about anything. Okay. Now, of course, guys don't usually want to hear a lot of girl talk stuff, and girls don't want to usually hear a lot of guy talk stuff. So, yes, there's boundaries in communication. I totally get it. But as far as you two in the relationship or whatever kind of structure or dynamic your partner or partners or whatever it is you do, you want to make sure you're communicating to each other effectively, right? And communicating, transparency, respecting, and effectively, and all that good stuff is, I know it's a lot. I know it is, but just kind of keep it in perspective that you want to communicate and communicate effectively. Okay. So, and the key thing, what I want you to remember about that is you want to be able to agree and disagree respectfully, right? You always want to listen to each other. That's very, very important that you listen to your spouse or your partner. You have to give them They have to have a level of certainty about you communicating with them. All right. And when we don't do that, then our relationship takes an unhealthy turn. Okay. So definitely, you want to keep that in mind. Definitely communicate with your spouse. All right. Or partner or partners or whatever kind of dynamic you have set up. Check the comments real quick. Nice. Okay. So, because I know one of the biggest things that me and Foxy talked about, when we first got together, we were both at a point to where we were like, you know what, I don't have anything to hide. I'm transparent, I'm blunt. And we were just kind of like, wow, I've never been able to talk to somebody as open and honest as I am now. Like not that I've been hiding or anything in my previous relationships, but there was no more representative. Like the representative didn't meet Foxy, or I don't feel like Foxy's representative met me. I feel like Foxy's been the same, ever since towards me. Of course we've evolved as human beings, as intellectual beings. We've evolved throughout the years, and but she's always been, very very open and honest with her communication. Right? She's always been open and honest about communication, transparent, and same with me. So I value that a lot. Okay. So what else? Be respectful. Right? That'll be number 2. So number 1 is communication. Number 2 is going to be respectful. And respecting each other is putting value on what you have to say, or putting value on how they feel, or including them in your plans of life. And you show respect by making sure that this person is taken care of, right? Because you have a great deal of honor for them, and you make sure that they are not wanting, or they're not out of the loop when it comes to information that needs to be shared, or something that needs to be shared. I know I know in some of my relationships in the past where there were very subtle signs of disrespect because of the way things were going in my mind, and it was a lack of communication, right? And the way that things were going in our minds, I should say, my ex-wife and I, we you tend to feel disrespected when you're communicating something. You're communicating one thing and they are doing another, right? So you feel like, well, wait a minute, you are blatantly disrespecting me, or you're doing something that I asked you not to do, but I didn't communicate effectively what it is I wanted you to do and not do. So that whole respect thing, just like I said, communication is the key that opens the door to everything else. So, you have to communicate what it is that you feel is being disrespectful, right? You have to know that, like, those boundaries have to be set. So, and if they're not set, then it's kind of like, well, what are we doing, right? What is it that we're going around and around the goofy loop where you disrespect me? Well, you disrespected me. Well, why you disrespect me? Well, you disrespected me. So you have to set that boundary and figure out what that is. And I know I had one couple that I used to work with. They have a problem with one of them has a problem with what they call PDA, public display of affection, and she feels like that's disrespectful to be hugging and kissing on, and rubbing and touching and all that kind of stuff. She feels like it's disrespectful, and he doesn't. He feels like that's his way of showing her love, which is hey, if that's what you guys do, that's cool. But if she's verbally expressed to you, hey, this makes me feel bad, or it makes me feel a certain kind of way, I feel disrespected when you do that. Okay, so we need to go ahead and we need to, in a healthy relationship, we respect that, we value that, and we handle ourselves as such. Okay, is that something that you could possibly get over? Possibly. Could you possibly work through that? Possibly, right? You could possibly work through that, but that's not something I would try to tackle right there in the moment. All right, so just be mindful. Respect can mean something different on different levels. It just depends on what it is that you're talking about. And also keep it in context that people have different levels, difference of opinion about respect. Okay. Trusting. All right. So you believe what your partner has to say. You don't feel the need to prove each other's trustworthiness. Like you don't have to be, how can I earn her trust, or how can I earn his trust? I mean, unless you already messed up. You know what I'm saying? So, let's be real here. If you have messed up in the past, then yes, it's going to be difficult for you to gain that trust back. All right. Let's not play games here. We're talking about real people in real life situations. All right. If you done fucked up somewhere, you got to get the trust. You got to get back in the door with the trust. That's just the bottom line. All right. So be mindful of that. But in a healthy relationship, you want to believe what your partner says, okay? And you don't want to get that look of disbelief every single time they say something, or if you are doubtful of your partner, right? They may not lie to you or anything like that, but you're just doubtful in what they say that they're going to do. Like you feel like, oh, well, yeah, he says he's going to do this, but I doubt it, or he's going to forget, or, stuff like that. So it may not even be that, he is lying to you or anything like that. It may just be, he may not be as skillful at fixing the plumbing or trimming the trees and the whatchamacallit. So, and that, that's one thing. And just keep in mind, these things we keep these things in context. All right. So, trusting is you believing what your partner says, and trusting that he's going to do what he says he's going to do, and she's going to do what she says she's going to do. All right. So, and I'll kind of let that marinate. So one is definitely going to be, let me go back. Communication, be respectful, trust in each other. Let's go with honesty is another one, right? Just like I said, you always want to be honest and upfront, transparent. And if you know that, and one of the things that I know that me and Foxy, we've dealt with in the past is that, like, she'll ask me to do something and I'll be like, babe, it's not that I don't want to do that, but you're just better at doing that. Like when it comes to like making reservations and making plans, and just like the all of the events that we went to and all of the parks that we saw, and that was the pictures that we took. That was just some of the places that we went. Like we went, for like 2 days. We were hitting spots and hitting parks and everything, going sightseeing and everything. It was awesome, and she planned all that out. I can do that, but she's better at that. So when it comes to me making calls and checking on reservations and making sure we got tickets here and making sure we got tickets there, If it's not us going to the movies, you know, I can handle that. I can buy the tickets online. We can walk up to the thing, bam, bam, bam. But as far as planning the schedule and making sure we here at this time, we here at that time, and you know this flight and that flight, you know, I can do that for myself, but you know she did it for 4 different people, you know, 4 other people besides herself. So I'm like, I'm like, baby, you're better at that than I am. Okay, so I'm just gonna be honest. That's just what it is. She's a lot better with, you know, planning and scheduling and all of that. You know, she's just better at it. So I just like, babe, it's not that I don't want to do it or that I don't want to help you. I just you're a lot better at this, you know. So and then when I do it, she's gonna change it up anyway. So I mean, really? So it is just a waste of time, darling, if I'm going to do this. And you're gonna go back and change it anyway. All right? Yeah. Sounds good. Oh man. Oh goodness. Sorry about that. Nose running like a faucet. Okay. So where are we? Honesty. Always make sure you're making decisions together. That's a good one. So let me go back. Number 1, communicating. Number 2, be respectful. Number 3, make sure you're trusting. Make sure you're honest. And make sure you treat each other as an equal. And I know with Foxy and I would take the blunt of the not the blunt, but I would take the responsibility of the children per se, right? An unequal responsibility of the children, because I would always make sure, you know, the stuff that I would take it upon myself to make sure that, you know, I always did this, make sure they had the stuff together, make sure I did the discipline, I did the, you know, the teaching, I did everything, right? And I always wanted to make sure that they were able to survive if I wasn't around or if she wasn't around or if something happened to us. So I was really, really adamant about their skill level, you know, them learning life lessons and everything, right? So I was, you know, basically hogging the children, you know, and I wasn't trying to. I was just like, I was always doing something with them. I was always busy with them, or always had them busy doing something, you know, that I was involved in, to teach them what, you know, what it is that I do as a man, you know, because she has 3 boys and 1 girl, and, you know, just teaching them life lessons. It was an unequal amount of time being spent, and we had to kind of pull out of that, you know. So and I had to start making decisions as far as their day-to-day life and the things that they learned, because they homeschooled for a long time also. So I worked from home, and, you know, she worked in the field or in the office, you know, doing whatever, you know, task or whatever she had going on that day. And it was just a unequal amount of time being spent. And, you know, she felt it. And I mean, and we felt it because, you know, it was information that I wanted to teach them and get that information out to them before a certain time, before they got a certain age, or because I felt like it was too late. So you definitely want to give an equal amount of time to each other, equal amount of responsibility to each other, and an equal amount of a decision making, right? You always want to include each other in that. That's what a healthy relationship looks like. So whatever decision you make, you know, I'm not saying, you know, I got to call and say, hey, you know, we want ketchup, sweet ketchup, or we want unsweetened ketchup. You know, we're going to get chocolate milk or almond. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about big decisions, you know, like moving, buying a car, buying a house, where are we going on the next vacation? Unless it's a surprise. Keep it in, keep it in context, of course. But you definitely want to include and treat them as an equal. Okay. You don't make all the decisions for the children. You don't make all the decisions for everything that they do, and so on and so forth. So keep that in mind. And I'm gonna throw a personal one in here is quality time, right? That's what a healthy relationship looks like. You want to spend quality time that does not include, you guys fussing and cussing at each other. And I know because I have clients that they say, well, this is how we do. This is just what we do. No, 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 no. You're not poking fun at each other and calling each other names 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Otherwise, you wouldn't have 4 and 5 children. Okay, it just no. You get to a point where you become complacent with these things, calling each other names and all of this, we're just joking. That's how we are kind of stuff. I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, there's somebody that does not like being called a name or being belittled in a joking manner, right? And it always works out that way. Trust me. I've talked to hundreds of couples now, right? Hundreds of couples, and I know that when you have this, well, this is just how we do. We call each other asshole and we call each other dumbass and all this kind of stuff. I understand that that's how you do. Okay, I understand that. And for some people, that may just be what they're into. But for the great 90%, all right, which is 9 times out of the 10 couples that I've talked to, right, there's one person that does not like that shit. I guarantee you. It's always been that way. Okay. I've maybe one couple out of the hundreds of couples that I've talked to that they both just really enjoy calling each other assholes and dumbasses and stuff like that. I mean, which is something I'm not judging, but that's not something that I will call a healthy relationship. That's just me. It's my opinion. I'm not doing that. That's not something that I want to involve myself in. But hey, if that legitimately what floats your boat, I'm just giving you statistics from my end. So, so make sure your quality time is quality time. Make sure if you guys are gonna just chill together, maybe go to the restaurant, have some chips and salsa, or go have lunch outside, at the park, or something where you two can just talk without all the joking, without all the sarcasm, with all like the extra bullshit. Like it's just you and your partner, and just relax and and really really take the time to enjoy each other, right? And however you got it, I know a lot of us are crunched for time. Maybe if this is your time, and at the end of the day, go back out to the car and sit in the car and talk. This is something that me and Foxy used to do, because especially when all of our children were in one house. It was 9 children in one house, right? And at that time we had a 3-bedroom apartment, and it was just. And then, my children would be spending the night, or, spending a couple weeks or whatever. And, we would just be like, let's go to the car. Then we'd go to the car, sit out in the car and sit out in the driveway and just, just talk. We lay the seat back in the car and just sit back and talk, man, and just really, really chop it up. And we really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed that. So I know, I'm pretty sure Foxy enjoyed that too. But we really had some pretty good, effective quality time conversations doing that. All right. So make sure you guys have an equal say in economics as well. I know I should have added that, but yeah, all major decisions, guys, you got to include each other. That's what a healthy relationship looks like. Okay. Um, Let me see. There is, and another one. Let's see. Enjoy that personal time. Oh, making some making mutual sexual choices. All right. So make sure you're talking openly about sexual and reproductive choices together. All make sure all partners are um, willingly partners are willingly consenting to sexual activity and can safely discuss what you are and are not comfortable with. Okay, definitely. You definitely want to make sure, especially at this time, this day and time, man, all this, sexual harassment and sexual um, assault going on, man, please make sure you are, you guys communicate openly about sexual activity, right? Um, and I'm just gonna leave that with that. I'm not gonna dive into that too much. Um, Let me see. In parenting, make sure you are together when it comes to parenting. That's a healthy relationship. Okay, this is what a healthy relationship looks like, right? You're parenting together effectively. All right. Um, Make sure everybody feels comfortable with the way that you discipline the children, how we talk to the children, what we say, the lessons learned, and so on and so forth. Make sure that's something that you talk about. Make sure everybody has an understanding when it comes to that, because a lot of times there's a miscommunication or something that was never said. Um, Excuse me. Oh man. Something that was never said about the way you interacted with the children, or the way that you didn't interact with the children. What is going on with my camera? There we go. A way that you didn't, you want to make sure you're effectively communicating about interacting with the children as far as discipline and day-to-day activities, because you kind of get caught into that little goofy loop that we were caught into, and I was doing the majority of the parenting per se, because I was basically spending all the time with them. And that was one of the big things, that one of the reasons why I wanted to start working from home, is so I could spend time with the children. And and it just kind of, our roles reversed, and I was there with the children a lot, and Foxy wasn't. And she had always been in their lives, of course. That's their mom. But you could see how that began to affect the relationship as a whole. So we had to balance those things out. But yeah, so definitely make sure you are engaging in supportive parenting. Definitely make sure you guys are on the same page, because the children will rip you apart. If you're not on the same page, they will exploit you and take advantage of you. Okay? So make sure when you say no, when daddy say no, mama say no. When mama say no, daddy is saying no. All right? You make sure you stand united when it comes to dealing with them children, because they will get you. All right? They'll have you flipping and turning against each other in some more shit, and you be like, what? But yes, definitely. I think that is it. That's all I really had tonight, guys. I'm not gonna hold you too long. I think 40 minutes is enough of me dropping a little bit of info. Okay. Once again, remember, this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. All right, so let's focus on loving somebody instead of hurting somebody. Okay, that's what we want to shift the focus to: love, not hurt. We don't want to hurt people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to hurt, especially the people that you love. These are women that you want to lay down with and hold and caress, and so we don't want to hurt the women. All right, and the men, ladies, this man is, you want this man to hold you and caress you, after you just went upside his head. That's not, that's not cool. We're not doing that. All right, so let's just keep that. Let's keep all of this in the context. All right. If you're putting your hands on each other, make sure it's in a loving manner. All right. We don't want no bruises and nobody beat up on or nothing like that. Okay. There is help out here. I'm a certified life coach. Fox is a certified life coach. MarcusandFoxy.com. You can go book your appointment on there. We can definitely help out. You can go to my YouTube channel. It's Marcus J. Jackson. Subscribe to that YouTube channel, and you can get the updated information every day, or whenever I post a video. That would be awesome. Other than that, man, I really appreciate y'all tuning in and watching the video. I will be back on tomorrow, and I will be talking about something else great and wonderful, right? So, listen, live life to the fullest, guys. Y'all take it easy. Try not to do too much. Peace. All right.